Amen, amen, I say to you, before Abraham was, I am. To this day, our Jewish brethren do not dare to use that holy name. I am would be Echya. It is the first person singular of to be, and we have it coming through in the tetragram, Yahweh, Yahweh, Jehovah, which out of respect we do not use liturgically. We replace it by the Lord, which they already did centuries ago by putting the points, that is the vowels if you like, of Adonai, Lord, between the vowels of Yahweh. They got the message, and the punishment was to follow. They did pick up stones. It was blasphemy for them, and stoning is a horrid death, lapidation. It was undergone by our first Christian martyr, St. Stephen. It's still, of course, in use in Muslim countries. Frightfully brutal. The cross, actually, was going to be more prolonged and more brutal, and it was the will of the Father and therefore of the Son that it should be on Calvary and on the cross that the fullness of redemption should happen. We now enter into that drama, Passiontide. Now, in the Gospel of St. John, from which this extract is taken, there is, from the very beginning, which you will notice, of course, at the end of Mass we repeat, this cosmic battle between light and darkness. The Word, coming from the realms of light, light from light. And this incapacity of darkness to comprehend or receive it, this is always the leitmotif in John, and here it's about to work itself out. We notice that it hinges on the will linked to the understanding. They do not know him, but it goes further. It indicates that they know him because they don't want to. There is a contamination of the will. Transpose. In many a conversation, we get involved with useless verbiage. We're handling the wrong problem. The problem is inside. A person doesn't want to know, and therefore he'll make a lot of noise. Noise is rather like what was used in Britain when the Germans were bombing London. A huge barrage, all kinds of things to stop the bombers coming through. It's exactly the same principle. A screen of defense. I don't want to hear, I won't hear, I will exclude light. And it's actually out there hugely right now in the media, very much so in the Irish media. People are living bad lives, and therefore they're making a lot of noise against what might be perceived still to be a threat to their comfort zone, the church. But actually, on a deeper level, it applies to every single soul. In a sense, Passiontide is an anticipation of our own agony and passion. We don't know how many Easters we have left. Lent, in particular Passiontide, is a medicine given by divine providence to make sure that we have our insurance policy fully paid up. We have more difficulty than those who went before us in doing so. I think you know why. In those days, 50, 60, 70 years ago, the rhythm was more calm. There weren't so many messages. One heard things. People heard each other, and they heard God. This week, as every Lent, for a week. I was helping back near where I was ordained. And there, because in Italy, faith and culture are still intertwined, one has a great access to people there where they're at. It's a blitz. All the houses in the country theoretically are blessed individually, and people are met in their own context where they are themselves. All the houses have a great spring cleaning, the bedroom doors are opened, and people want you to go there into all the areas and bless. Some ask for confession, some ask for a special blessing, some cry, but it means a lot. The church is present to them there where they're at in their misery. The church is a loving mother, and nothing, I say nothing, can replace the presence of the priest in the heart and the hearth of the people. And there one finds hidden gems, traces of long gone, bygone generations, the ancient but loving old people who still pray a lot, and I mean a lot. I was just coming back actually yesterday morning from the sisters in the hospital, where they had a very beautiful sunrise at 8 o'clock in the morning, still facing the other way, by the way. 3 or 4 of the churches there still face the other way, they haven't changed the altars. And as I was coming back, I heard somebody crying, "Padre, mi può confessare?" Father, could you hear my confession? So I went up, and there was a hidden saint there, and I want to share what she shared with me. She spends practically her whole time in prayer. Parish priest told me that was actually the case. And she knows a huge number of prayers by heart. And she wanted to share this with me because it's her special care. Souls who are precisely in their passion tide, the agonizing of the universe. And she gave me this photocopy of what she uses every day. The back contains some reminders which concern each one here. This devotion has the scope of obtaining the grace of a good death for the 140,000 persons, roughly, who each day die throughout the world. This very day, 140,000 people fall, reaped by the scythe of death. You see that sometimes in sculptures, death reaping. It's actually in the Apocalypse. They appear before the tribunal of God. By the way, that is all we need to know when we suddenly find ourselves placed before a human judge who wants to pronounce judgment there and then. I mean in conversation. They too have to respond. And if we become agitated at that point, it shows we have no supernatural vision. We demand our glory, hic et nunc. Jesus didn't. It goes on. They commence an eternity of joys, or an eternity of pains. 97 a minute. 51 million a year. Alas! Of this huge number, how many thousands, maybe, are in a state of mortal sin? You can save a vast number of them by prayer. It's precisely the message of Fatima. making sacrifice of all that comes to us and inventing them. It's also a salutary reminder of what matters and what matters less. It's also something which collocates us on a higher level with regard to the use of time. I picked this up in a monastery. I think probably you will be familiar with it. The angel with his big wings protecting little children as they cross the bridge. Our guardian angel. Well, these, our friends, are also hugely concerned and very active with regard to these souls at the point of death, and also when we're threatened with death, accidents. We can be angels also, without knowing it, to people at that point. If we have a supernatural vision, we will also estimate time for what it is. Irreversible, blessed in every second, and not to be squandered. It's the great suffering of the souls in purgatory. Oh, if only I had known the value of a minute. We waste minutes by the thousand. And one great waster of minutes is words. Too many of them. And that also has made us poorer, weaker, crippled, compared with only 2 generations before us. That kind of generation that still carries on knowing what matters and what matters less. In these ancient Catholic countries that have not known the Reformation, there is a strange continuity with those generations. One goes to old churches which aren't too much changed. One uses old chasubles, old chalices still there, and old habits die hard. Much colour in life. Jesus now, shortly on Good Friday, carried through the streets throughout Italy a huge life-size statue, Gesù Morto, Jesus dead. And all, including the young people, will have stations through each village. Meditations, a part of life, the rhythm of life. And these old bells, which still in these Catholic countries ring out, regularly, reminding us that also we will be reaped one day while the bells go on for the next generation. Big bells, little bells, huge peals of bells, clanging bells, honouring God publicly. Have you seen the old picture of the Angelus? It's a French one. A young husband and a young bride in the fields, pausing like this. And behind them, in the distance, the belfry obviously being the Angelus. Even the Romantique poet Alphonse de Lamartine mentions it in one of his very loving poems to a friend of his, who shouldn't really have had. Un son religieux, a religious sound, the voyageur s'arrête, and the traveller stops. We don't stop. Even though in Ireland the Angelus still rings out on the actually airwaves as well as the churches. And quite often we carry on doing the urgent thing that cannot wait. In these days of Passiontide, I ask you, my friends, to stop. Don't spend the rest of your life in words. Hurry. Learn to experience emptiness, full of 1 or 2 words which have power on the depths, between yourselves and between your soul and your God. It's a different mode of existence, and thereby we too prepare for the last bell, which is that of the irreversible now.